Have you ever really stopped to think about thinking? It's kind of funny, right? It's the most powerful thing we do. It's what makes us human, but we almost never pop the hood to see how the engine actually works. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to dive deep into the architecture of your mind.
So let's just start with the big one, the question we all ask ourselves. We're swimming in information, right? So why on earth is it so hard to just think clearly? Why does our own mind feel so messy, so chaotic sometimes? Well, it turns out there's a really good reason, and just understanding that is the first step to making it all better.
You know, a really wild way to see this problem in action is to compare our own thoughts with what an AI spits out. Think about it. Our own process is fuzzy. It's emotional. It's full of shortcuts. AI, on the other hand, is just bam, logical, fast, polished. And what it does, and this is what's so fascinating, is it holds up a mirror to us. It shows us our own cognitive dimness, all those little gaps in our logic that we usually just let slide.
All right, so to really get this, we've got to look at the two big pieces of our thinking machine. The actual physical hardware, that's the brain, and the software that runs on it, that's the mind. So let's pop the hood and start with the hardware.
Okay, so picture this. Your brain has these two managers who are always, they're always in a negotiation. You've got a calm, visionary CEO who's thinking about the long game, and then you've got this jumpy, hyper-vigilant security guard who's only thinking about right now. And honestly, the tension between those two explains almost every decision you make.
Let's break that down, because this is so important. Your prefrontal cortex, the PFC, that's your CEO. It sits up in the front office, it's logical, it's weighing the long-term consequences. But down in the lobby, you've got the amygdala. That's your security guard. It is not thinking about next quarter's earnings. It is scanning for immediate threats and immediate rewards. It's that fight-or-flight voice that's screaming for instant gratification, always prioritizing right now over later.
But you know, hardware is only half the story, right? You need an operating system, you need software. And for a map of that software, we're actually going to look to this incredible and surprisingly modern framework from ancient Indian philosophy that breaks the mind into 4 core jobs.
Okay, so this ancient framework breaks our mental software into 4 key jobs. Think of it like this. First, you've got the gatekeeper for your senses, the part that sorts all the incoming information. Then there's this deep, vast hard drive that stores every single experience you've ever had. The third function is the one that creates your sense of I, your ego. And then finally, there's the highest faculty, the executive control. This is the part that allows for judgment, discernment, and wisdom. It's basically your mind's own internal OS.
So we've got our biological hardware and our psychological software. But some scientists are starting to think the connection goes even deeper. I mean, what if the fundamental rules that run the universe aren't just out there in space, but are also running in here? To even begin to explore that, we have to leave the mind for a minute and step into the very strange world of quantum physics.
Now, for a long, long time, the standard scientific view was basically no way. The argument was that the brain is just too chaotic. It's too warm, wet, and noisy to support something as delicate as a quantum process. Any of those fragile quantum states would just collapse in an instant. Case closed.
But what if that conventional wisdom is totally raw?
Okay, so there's this wild, groundbreaking theory called OR, and it suggests that, yes, consciousness actually does start at the quantum level, deep inside these tiny little structures in our neurons. And the theory says that to protect these super delicate processes from all that chaos in the brain, nature built in a kind of geometric shield. It uses a universal pattern of perfect optimal design.
And what is this universal pattern, this magical shield? It's the golden ratio. I mean, this mathematical code is everywhere in nature, from the shape of galaxies to the spiral of your own DNA. And the incredible finding is that the structures in our brains seem to use this exact same code. This golden geometry can protect those fragile quantum states for thousands of times longer than we ever thought possible. It basically suggests that the universe's most elegant design pattern might be the very thing that lights up our consciousness. Okay, that was deep. So, we've got this incredible quantum hardware and this sophisticated mental software. The big question now is, how do we actually use it better? Well, we can think of ancient philosophy as basically giving us the software updates we need to run our minds way more effectively.
So what is wisdom really? When you boil it all down, it's simply the art of creating a pause. It's that tiny, critical moment between a stimulus, like, say, a really annoying email hitting your inbox, and your immediate, knee-jerk reaction. That pause is everything.
In that space, you give your inner CEO, the prefrontal cortex, time to step in and take back control from that panicky security guard, the amygdala.
And the best part is you can practice creating that pause. Here are 4 super simple but incredibly powerful ways to do it. First, just take a 10-second pause. That's all it takes for your PFC to catch up. Second, use second-order thinking. Ask yourself, and then what? See the dominoes fall. Third, get some perspective. Ask, how would my 80-year-old self see this? And finally, reframe the whole question. Instead of asking a victim's question like, why me? Ask a proactive one. What does this require of me? That one little switch changes everything.
So, once you understand your mind's architecture and you start using these tools, you can actually begin to build systems for yourself. Systems that help you think with total clarity and make calm, confident decisions, no matter what's going on.
So what does a system like that look like? Well, one modern example is something called the Think 25 ethos, which is really just a framework for making clear decisions. The whole point of any system like this is to bring a sense of calm confidence to complex problems by making structured thinking a simple, accessible habit. It's all about taking these huge, timeless ideas and building a personal operating system for your own mind.
You see, at the end of the day, all of this, the biology, the philosophy, the wild quantum physics, it's all pointing to one single thing: alignment. It's about getting the physical instrument, which is your brain, and the sheet music, which is your mind, to perfectly express the intent of the player, and the player is you.
And this is the piano analogy. It just brings everything together so perfectly. Your brain and your body? That's the piano, the physical instrument. Your mind, all your thoughts, memories, and patterns, that's the sheet music. But you are the pianist. You are the one who decides what to play. And this is the most important part of the whole idea. A broken piano might play a sour note, but it never, ever harms the pianist. Understanding the architecture of your mind is like being handed the keys to the most sophisticated, incredible instrument in the known universe. It's tuned up, it's ready to go. The only question left is, what music will you choose to play?